What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I'm Ryan Thomas. I'm your host, coming to you live from Lockport, New York. I'm pretty excited to get started with the second edition of tonight's show. The first part, I talked about Adrian Peterson possibly becoming a Dallas Cowboy, why I think that is a decent move if Dallas were to pull the trigger on that acquisition. Although they are heavy in depth at running back, I think it would be a great move for their franchise. Listen to that and tune in, really listen to why I feel that would be a great move. Part 2 of the Thomas Take is the Buffalo Bills stay or go. E.J. Manuel. What do I think? Do you think the Buffalo Bills should keep him? Do you think the Buffalo Bills should let him go? Now, it's really easy to say that they should cut him. It's easy to say that they should have cut him after his rookie year. It's easy to say they should have cut him after his second year, and so on and so forth. But I feel that the Buffalo Bills should keep him, and I will tell you why. Quarterback depth is so hard to come by, especially young quarterback depth in this day and age of the NFL. There's so few quarterbacks that are out there that you could actually replace E.J. Manuel with and feel comfortable about it for the next 5 to 6 years, plug him in as your backup. There's not many guys out there. Josh McCown was just released by the Cleveland Browns. That was somebody that the Buffalo Bills kicked the tires on, so to speak, before they went out and traded for Matt Castle. That's somebody that they were interested in. Could that be an option? I certainly hope not. While I like Josh McCown as a passer, he's an older quarterback, so he wouldn't really be here that long. I would want a reliable, not necessarily reliable, and that's not the right word to use. I would want a young backup behind Tyrod Taylor. That way, if Tyrod were to go down, you'd have somebody waiting in the wings that is young, that is looking to play, and is looking to play and be a featured role on your team long term. And I have always said this about E.J. Manuel. He was never supposed to be a first-round draft pick. He was supposed to be a third, fourth, at the earliest, a late second-round pick. And that's really generous. I never take him in the second round, but if you want to be generous about the class and the draft itself, Geno Smith went in the second round. So, you can say all you want about E.J. Manuel, but Geno Smith is not much better, and he went in the second round of that class. So, that being said, I do believe that if the Buffalo Bills were to let go of E.J. Manuel, he would instantly become one of the top backup quarterback free agents in the NFL, maybe the top backup quarterback. And yes, the backup quarterback is very important heading into the season. You want to know that you have a decent, reliable option. And in E.J. Manuel's last showing, he showed nothing but reliability. He showed mediocrity. He showed that he has a long way to go. And really, the reason why he is still at this point in his career of just frustration and mediocrity, it's frustrating watching him. It's not fun watching him as a fan. But the Buffalo Bills used him completely wrong from year 1 to year 2 till now. He was never supposed to start his rookie year. Doug Whaley said so as much. They brought in a guy named Kevin Cobb to be the starter. His infamous quote was that the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl that year. He slips on a rubber mat, gets a concussion, comes back, plays against the Redskins in the preseason. London Fletcher lays a huge hit on him, knocks him out of the game, and that was the last we ever saw, period, of Kevin Cobb. I haven't even seen the guy. I didn't even see the guy leave his house. If I was standing out there waiting outside, he wouldn't come out. So, it's not that funny, but I've read several articles stating that Kevin Cobb has serious CTE from that last concussion that he suffered, serious brain damage, to the point where he is a full capacity, fully capable human being, but he has really short. He has a really short memory and things of that nature, which is sad. That's very sad. And I think that if as I said, if they cut E.J. Manuel, he would go to like a Minnesota to back up Bradford. He would go to maybe a San Francisco 49ers to back up eventually Matt Schaub, who will be there pretty soon, reportedly. He would go to a team to be a young backup. And I don't know if Cardale Jones, if they do keep Tyrod Taylor, which I think they will, I don't know if Cardale Jones is ready to take that step of being the third stringer to the backup. That I am not really sure of. Is E.J. Manuel better than Cardale Jones all around, talent-wise? Probably not. But in terms of experience, even in the NFL, in comparison to Cardale Jones, I would go with E.J. Manuel as a backup, being the fact that he's started some games, he's won some games in the NFL, and realistically, his rookie year, he was not that bad. It was the game, if you guys don't remember, it was the game where he runs out of bounds against the Cleveland Browns. They throw him out of bounds, and he hurts his leg. Doug Marrone kind of put the shackles on him, so to speak, after that. Told him not to run around, stay in the pocket, and I really think that hurt his development because the EJ that was at Florida State was running around, using his legs to buy time, using his legs to extend plays, throwing on the run. He's got a decent arm, not the greatest arm, but he's more accurate. Believe it or not, he's more accurate throwing on the run than he is from the pocket. So I would try to get E.J. Manuel to go back to the basics, not redo his ability, not go back to the start and build him up from scratch. Just continue to work on the things that he is already good at and mold him. Mike Mayock said if he was molded like a piece of clay, he could be a serviceable quarterback, a serviceable starter in the National Football League, and that has not happened during his rookie contract with the Buffalo Bills. I would keep him. And I think it would be a decrease in pay compared to his original rookie deal. You'd be paying practically the league minimum for a guy that is 26 years old. That is a rarity in the National Football League. That is a real rarity. And I know that if another team were to go out and get him, they would spend even less money than what we would, being that we drafted him, being that they didn't. It would be like them giving him a second chance, so they wouldn't be paying him as much money. He'd go there for cheaper. He's I honestly feel as a backup quarterback, he would be as good an option on this free agent market as any. Go on all the websites of all the free agent quarterbacks in this year's free agency. There are not many good ones. The best one that I saw on there, the best two that I saw were Brian Hoyer and Mike Glennon. E.J. Manuel would probably be the third best to those two guys, and those two guys are backups. So Brian Hoyer is on the fringe of a starting job. I wouldn't be shocked if San Francisco maybe went after a guy like him, or if New England tried to get him back, if they trade Jimmy Garoppolo away, or if the second option with Mike Glennon, I see him getting more of a starting quarterback role than anybody in the free agency, including Ryan Fitzpatrick. So that's my take. I would keep E.J. Manuel if I was the Buffalo Bills. I think that this offensive coordinator, Rick Dennison, is a very good one. He's worked extensively with great offenses in Denver and Baltimore. He knows what it takes to build decent quarterbacks. He's been in the league for over 20 years. And I like David Culley, what he had done in Kansas City. There's good coaches around now, I feel. So I would keep E.J. Manuel. I don't think he's a starter at this point by any means, but letting him go to another team and then letting him produce as a backup for that team would be a mistake, I feel. 26 years old, he'd be one of the younger backups in the NFL. He's got ability, he has talent, he's strong, he's big, he's mobile, and he would be cheaper than he is right now. So that's my take. I know there's a lot of people that are going to disagree with it, and that's fine. Not every single person is going to agree with what I say, and I don't expect them to. by a long shot. In fact, I expect more people to disagree with me than to agree with me, and that's fine, but I want people to tune into the show and just kind of process things in a different way. Look at the actual evidence, the body of work from the rookie year till now. If you really look year to year, there were things that the Bills did that really handicapped E.J. Manuel from growing. The fact that they set him, they put him in the wake of the Kevin Cobb injury. They put him in with virtually no threat to take his job. Sometimes when you put a guy in as a starter with no threat in the quarterback room to take his job, things could get a little bit lazy around one Bills drive. And I think that could be something that happened to E.J. Manuel. He thought that there'd be nobody around to take his job. Obviously there wasn't with Jeff Toole and Thad Lewis, but that was the case partially. And then they bring in Kyle Orton. He takes the job as EJ goes 2-2, and Kyle Orton did one game better. So it wasn't really much of an improvement from Kyle Orton to EJ Manuel. The stats would say otherwise, but wins and losses, it was virtually the same. Who knows if EJ would have been better had he kept playing? Who knows if he would have been worse had he kept playing? We don't know because he got pulled. So I'm not a big fan of benching guys unless they are really, really bad. And he wasn't really, really bad. He just wasn't as good as what they had hoped he'd have been from year 1 to year 2. So that's my take. I would keep E.J. Manuel in Buffalo. I think he enjoys being here. I think he enjoys being Tyrod Taylor's backup, learning behind Tyrod Taylor while learning this new offense. That I actually feel the Dennison offense will be a better fit for E.J. Manuel and Tyrod Taylor than the offenses of years past. That was part 2 of the Thomas Take. I'm Ryan Thomas. Thanks for tuning in.